is Reagan Burkett, and this is my mini research project. The research question that I wanted to ask is the number of children's programs offered associated with the number of people entering libraries in Kentucky? This is a quantitative research question that examines the relationship between two numeric variables, the number of children's programs offered and the number of people entering public libraries. The findings of this study could help library media specialists make informed decisions about whether increasing programming in school libraries may lead to greater library use. My hypothesis: libraries that offer a greater number of children's programming will generally see a higher number of people entering the library. Some literature that I reviewed to help support my research. Gilpin et al. Examined the effects of public library investments and increased library use. They analyzed data collected from a selection of public libraries and found that public library capital investment increased library visits, attendance at children's programming, and children's circulation. Huang and Tahampton explored factors that influence public library visits through the analysis of public library service data. The results of their study indicated that children's programming was one of the best variables associated with increased library visits. Ju and Cahill analyzed data from the Institute of Museum and Library Services Public Library Survey, and they found that variables such as expenditures, collections, and attendance of children's programs were all significantly associated with the greater use of library resources and services by children. And finally, Stone and Ramsden examined the potential correlation between library activity and student attainment through the Library Impact Data Project. Their findings suggested that higher library engagement is connected to positive student outcomes. And while that's not directly related to the attendance of library programming, that article still supports my research as it provides evidence that increased library engagement can benefit students, showing why this question is even worth asking. I obtained a dataset from the 2024-2025 Kentucky Public Library Statistics Report. I chose 20 counties in Kentucky and looked at the number of children's programs these counties offered and the number of people entering their library annually. The first graph created is a scatter plot, and it was selected because the research question investigates the relationship between two numeric variables. This graph helps directly answer the research question by making it easier to identify trends, patterns, and potential correlations between the variables. This graph also includes a linear trend line, which helps illustrate the overall direction of the relationship. My second graph is a histogram. My rationale behind this one is that a histogram was selected to illustrate the distribution of the number of children's programs offered across the 20 selected counties. This visualization makes it easy to identify the range that most of the counties fall in, as well as recognize that there are counties with much higher numbers of programs than the others. This graph is important to the research question as understanding the distribution provides additional context when interpreting the relationship between the two variables. Also, a histogram is important when discussing limitations by showing potential outliers. For my results, the scatter plot showed a positive relationship between the two variables. For the most part, counties that offered more programs also experienced a higher number of people entering the library. The trend line also indicated a positive association between the two variables. The histogram, though, showed that most of the selected counties offered a small number of children's programs, while a small number of counties offered significantly more, showing potential outliers. For my limitations, data was collected from a sample of 20 counties in Kentucky rather than every public library in the state. Counties that had larger library systems will also have larger service populations and more resources. This means that they may offer more children's programs while also receiving more visitors for reasons unrelated to the programming. My recommendations. Based on the findings of this study, libraries should continue running and investing in children's programming to encourage greater attendance and engagement. Ideally, future research will examine a larger sample of libraries and consider more variables such as population served to determine the extent of which children's programming directly influences library attendance. Thank you.